Afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Victoria Scott. Welcome to News Channel 7 at noon. I see plenty of first responders still on scene here. We're told around 40 first responders responded to the fire today. Starting off tonight over in Okaloosa County, where 2 people are reportedly in the hospital after their car hydroplaned. I just want to show our viewers the severity of this wildfire. I mean, literally everything is completely charred. These devices help lifeguards rescue people in the water faster. That, in turn, could save a life. But if I move over here a little bit, we also have people from Tyndall Air Force Base, along with several other fire departments across the county. Again, this event is from 5 to 8 tonight, so I encourage everyone to come out, but please stay hydrated because it's very toasty out here. Hey guys, you're right. The city council is not letting things slide as folks flood the area. Tell me how you're feeling about tonight's game, being a Chiefs fan.
Super excited to celebrate. We're at full strength. There's nobody on the injured list. We're taking that trophy home.
Very nice. How about you, sir? How are you feeling about tonight's game?
Super excited to see the Eagles take it by 7.
Heading back over to Walton County, where staff at the county's animal shelter say they are almost entirely full. And with more animals being brought in every day, they say they need your help. Orlando police say the suspect involved in a Friday night shooting that left 2 officers critically injured is now deceased. Now, officials say if this happened just 24 hours later during Monday rush hour instead of a slow Sunday, it could have been a lot worse. All of us from News Channel 7 would like to wish one local veteran a happy 105th birthday. It's gonna be hot. Rainy and hot. Rainy and hot. Classic. All right, well, thank you for watching. We will see you all tomorrow at 10. The Millville Cemetery received more foot traffic than it normally does Friday.
It's unacceptable because it's got exposed bones, exposed to the elements. I just want to see something get done to this poor person's grave.
Joseph Mandeville and his wife sometimes stroll through the cemetery while they wait for their son to get out of school.
We spend time here checking out the old graves and stumbled upon this one. The sun was shining right on the bones at the time that I saw it, and that's why I reported it.
Mandeville says he reported the situation to a city commissioner back in May.
3 months later, and nothing's gotten done, so that's why we're doing this story.
But his actions are making a difference after speaking to News Channel 7. Panama City's Public Works Department, Quality of Life Department, and other city officials came out on Friday to fix it.
The vault is now sealed, and we're effecting the correct repairs and being as respectful to the individual that's buried there.
The fixed grave is also ensuring other resting places in the city aren't left unattended.
We are going to increase our level of inspections at these grave sites that are super old like this one to make sure that we get good inventory and good, make sure there's no other issues on these really old historic graves.
City officials say the unmarked grave could be from the 17 or 1800s. Starting off tonight with a story 5 decades in the making. After countless efforts to find her birth mom, the puzzle pieces fell into place for one Bay County resident. We were there as she meets her biological mom for the first time.
I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm happy.
Standing here at the airport, Dee DaCosta is just moments away from meeting her birth mom for the very first time.
I'm just excited, just a bundle of nerves.
DaCosta always knew she was adopted, but she had that itch to come face to face with her biological mom for decades.
I found out my mom's name, but back when I was in my 20s and 30s, there was not social media presence as it is now, and we didn't have the DNA that we have now.
A 23andMe DNA test taken roughly 5 years ago ultimately led her closer to making the connection. Through that test, she matched with some cousins.
So 2 days before Christmas, I just reached out and said, "Merry Christmas, cousins." And another cousin popped up and he said, "I think a similar situation happened to me, and I think I know who your birth mom is."
And now, on this day, everything finally fell into place.
My heart's still beating so fast. I'm at tears. I never ever thought this would happen. And it's been the best thing in my life is to have her. I loved her from the moment I felt her move inside of me.
DaCosta's biological mom, Trisha Hart, says she chose adoption for her daughter days after her 18th birthday.
And I wanted her to have a good start in life, and I never have regretted it.
DaCosta says there aren't any hurt feelings all 52 years later.
I had a great life.
Good.
Even better now.
There's still a lot the two have to catch up on.
Get to know her family, her husband, her kids, her son-in-laws, just the whole family.
And they only plan on growing their relationship from here on out. The two are now spending a week together here in Bay County. Hart never had any other children, and DaCosta's adoptive mom died around 8 years ago.
High-paying jobs.
Panama City leaders are promoting economic growth before Election Day on April 18th.
What we want to do is have more economic development activity, and by incentivizing businesses to come in, they have an opportunity to create a tax exemption for themselves.
It's all part of the economic development ad valorem property tax exemption. It's for specific businesses moving to the area and existing businesses that plan to expand.
This is a great way for the city of Panama City to be able to compete against other communities to bring businesses here.
Bay Economic Development Alliance officials also say the tax abatement would have a positive impact on employees.
To qualify for our incentive programs, a company has to pay 115% of our average wage. So that is actually bringing in good jobs for the people in our community so that they can purchase things in our community like cars and houses and retail items throughout the area.
The tax exemption existed in the city for decades.
Unfortunately, it got wrapped up with some other tax issues on the previous ballot and was not voted to continue. So this is an effort to get it back on the ballot.
But voters should also weigh the pros and cons of it.
When these economic development incentives are reasonable, appropriate, and applied properly, they can produce some real value for the residents.
Voters should also fully understand what they're voting on at the polls.
A lot of times they're afraid that they're giveaways. I think the folks that are trying to do this are acting in the wise and best interest of the people of Panama City.
In Panama City, Victoria Scott, News Channel 7. Former Panama City employee Michael Johnson learned his fate last Thursday. He entered a plea of no contest to grand theft, money laundering, and 19 counts of official misconduct. He's also surrendering more than $1 million to the city.
I don't think it could have ended any better than this.
Panama City commissioners voted on 3 resolutions at Tuesday's meeting.
One is acquiring the assets that were given up as restitution. 2 is going to be liquidating those assets.
3 is Johnson transferring ownership of his 11 properties to the city.
From this, I think that we'll see very positive changes to come.
These positive changes are coming in the form of restitution. Panama City leaders say the restitution should make the children, taxpayers, and organizations Johnson took advantage of whole again.
As this restitution comes, as the homes are sold, that money will be designated to helping ensure that those kids are the proper beneficiaries. This represents the best deal for the taxpayers that was left on the table.
Johnson stole more than $1 million from the Friends of ASAP. He also stole more than $100,000 from the Panama City CRA. But city leaders say it's all about learning and looking ahead.
Finding what controls and measures we can put in place to ensure that taxpayer dollars are protected and that nonprofits receiving city funds also are held accountable to their actions as well.
The commissioners say Johnson's liquidated assets will be put to good use, helping children who need it most, while the city implements ways to keep a closer watch on how those dollars are used in the future. In Panama City, Victoria Scott, News Channel 7.